Hi there, Aries Sun and Aries Rising. Welcome to your May 2017 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So what is on tap for the month of May? Okay, well, for the first few weeks of the month, we have the Sun in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is your second house of earned income. And also on the 16th of May, Mercury is going into Taurus. So there was a retrograde, and Mercury retrograded starting in the second house. So you may have seen some sort of slowing down with your finances ever since April 9th. And now things are going to get back up to speed. Thank goodness. When Mercury goes direct, it's going to be in your sign on May 3rd. And so you're going to be unified with your message. Mercury in Aries in direct is already direct, being in Aries. And some of you may actually have in your natal charts Mercury in Aries, because Mercury is very close to the Sun. So it can't be too far from your Sun sign. But for all of you, you're going to have this kind of very clear and direct way of speaking. You're also going to have Venus in your sign all month long, and this will give you a very attractive demeanor and just very, I would say even charismatic, because Venus attracts to her. Or Venus, well, would it be you attract from Venus to you? And so this is really a wonderful energy for promoting yourself. Like, let's say you happen to be between jobs, you will have a very good chance of impressing somebody that you interview with. If you are working for yourself and you want to add additional clientele. And this is another thing, that having Venus in the first house and even Mercury in the first house, it really helps you to communicate who you are to other people. And speaking of clients, the seventh house, which opposes that first house, and in your opposite sign of Libra, you currently have Jupiter retrograding in this house. And so for those of you who may have missed an opportunity early on to capitalize on Jupiter being in that seventh house, and maybe, you know, with your own business, maybe you did not pick up on certain clients that you could have, maybe you like somehow let it slip, you will get that second opportunity. And another thing too is concerning your marriage. If you have had any kind of difficulties, Jupiter retrograding can help to give you that sense of expansion another time over, like, you know, kind of reviewing and redoing anything that was left undone. And you can have luck through your marital partner. You can have a sense of expansion, which to me is something regarding your relationship becoming more than it was. And that would be wonderful. And it's funny that I should say that, because the way that I look at it is that the eighth house is really an extension of the seventh house in terms of a committed partnership, taking it to the next level. I mean, it's one thing to get married or to commit to somebody. It's another thing to really bare your soul, and that's what the eighth house is all about. You're going to have a full moon in this sector on May 10th in the sign of Scorpio. So it could be a situation where something comes to a head and either you or a partner or both of you decide that you need to start digging deep within your relationship. Maybe you have been keeping things a little bit too shallow, and that has caused one or both of you to kind of drift away from this union. And you want to make it better. You want to expand it and have it be like all that it can be. And this full moon may bring that to a head, or bring some awareness to that issue. The eighth house is also the house of death. And so it doesn't mean that somebody will die, because, the full moon can bring endings. Doesn't necessarily mean that, but it could be about matters of the dead. So any kind of inheritance issues may come to light. You may find out that there was an inheritance, and you're like, how come nobody told me? Or that if you've been dealing with this already, it will, maybe the estate will be, maybe you'll be done with probate, or whatever you want to call it. So there are many possibilities with that full moon. And you're going to have a new moon on May 25th in Gemini, which is its own house. And this is in the area of communication. So what do we typically think of in 2017? We think of the internet. So any new beginning with that, maybe you want to start a blog or a vlog, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. But it's interesting because you have Mars in this sector all month long in Gemini, and it's in its own territory, in Gemini's territory. And because Mercury rules this house, and because Mercury has been retrograding and now is direct, and it's direct in your sign, but by the time of the new moon, it will actually be in the second house. But while all of that is happening, you have Mars in the third house. So you may have felt kind of pent up, towards the beginning of the month, like, when can I do this? And if you know anything about astrology, you may have actually held off because you didn't want to launch anything during the retrograde. Well, that was probably pretty smart. So I wanted to give you two very auspicious dates for a trine between Mars and Jupiter, because they're both in air signs, and they will be exactly in the same degree in their respective signs on the 12th and 13th of May. So this is a very good time to launch things, because you have this ambition of Mars and the drive of Mars. And I guess it's the same thing, but I'm thinking more of like the energy plus the desire. And then you have Jupiter in Libra in your seventh house. So any kind of communication project that involves clients and the internet in particular, but in general, any kind of launch, because Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. So you have these two planets coming together in a harmonious aspect on the 12th and 13th, and that can be a very long-lasting, gratifying aspect for launching something. So it really looks to me like this is a great month overall for you, for business matters as well as deep relationships, Aries. And if you'd like a private reading where I really get into your natal chart and I actually do natal interpretations, I have one on sale for your whole chart. It's an hour-long reading, but I have other readings as well. Please click on the link below. Otherwise, have an awesome May. Bye.